Hi, so I wanted to give you guys just a little video on learning a second language. Now, I am American. English is my first language. I am currently living in Brazil, so I speak advanced Brazilian Portuguese. I'm not fluent, but I can definitely get by. I have conversations, I go to doctors, I make appointments, I work. That's fine. I'm good. I'm also learning Japanese online. I learned Portuguese initially from Rosetta Stone. I bought the system. I also have family that was Brazilian born and raised, so first language is Portuguese. For Japanese, I'm currently using a website called Memrise. They have so many different languages. They're fantastic. I love them. You can set like daily goals for yourself. I will put the link down here, or I will make a title page for it here or something. I don't know. I will do something. But it's a fantastic website. I recommend it. I have taught English here for about a year, and I've used books, I've used curriculums, I've done it on my own as a private tutor. And what I recommend to people a lot is use television or YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever you can find that has subtitles in the language you are trying to learn. Now initially, for me, I need to see a word to learn it. I have to actually visualize the letters in order for it to stick in my brain. So I will listen to something in English and have the subtitles down in the bottom in the second language. So I'm kind of reading the words so I know what the word looks like so I can think about it in my head. And then once I got a little better, I started to watch things in Portuguese and read them in English. So I was just listening to the way the words sounded that I already knew the spellings to. I already knew what the words were, but I was listening to the sounds of the words and how to pronounce them, which is a good way to start to, repeat the sounds and, get used to the way that you need to be speaking with your accent. Another thing that I always told my students was to explain things. Don't get frustrated if you're trying to explain the word house to someone. You're trying to say, oh yeah, my house. It sounds simple. I'm just using it as an example. But if you can't remember the word house, a lot of people I've noticed will just go, forget it, it's not important. No, it's important. You're trying to say it and you're trying to learn a language. Explain it to me. Explain to me what houses go around. I just tell them, go around it until you find the word. And that was very helpful with me also when I first started learning Portuguese. I was teaching English with minimal Portuguese skills. So if someone didn't know a word, I may not necessarily know the translation for it in Portuguese. I couldn't help them. So they would say, that thing, that structure, and you live in it and it has rooms and walls and you sleep there and your family is there. And I go, oh, okay, house. If you explain it and you go around, you not only use your other vocabulary, but you get yourself into a habit of trying to think of the word as opposed to just getting frustrated and embarrassed and just stopping. So you have to train yourself to not give up. You really need to go around, do everything you can to make that person understand you. It's also a good idea to find someone who speaks that language who doesn't also speak your language, because it's very easy to regress back into your natural language. So if I'm speaking to someone who speaks Portuguese and also English, I might just slip back into English if they understand me. And if they don't catch a word, then I'll say it in Portuguese. Because that's just what you want to do naturally. It's easier for you. It comes more naturally. I would recommend not speaking to someone who also speaks your language, which I assume, since you're watching this video, is probably English. I would recommend not doing that. So you're forced to kind of go around and explain things and to make the other person understand and to pick your own brain and pull some of that old information, the old vocabulary out of the archives and keep it new and relevant and current and, keep it in succession. I realize that if I don't use my Portuguese for a week or so, if I don't go out and interact with people a lot, I'll kind of forget some words, or I'll be like, oh man, I know that word. What is that word? So it gets a little tough if you don't keep using it. Yes, Immersion is super crazy helpful. I learned much, much faster with Immersion than I was with Rosetta Stone. Not to bash Rosetta Stone, it was fantastic. I still use it from time to time just to brush up or to pick up words I don't already know that I haven't learned from just daily speech. But yes, Immersion is a lot quicker. If you don't have access to it though, you have to do what you can. So I recommend, again, the whole subtitle thing. Start watching in your native language with the second language subtitles, then switch to second language audio, your language subtitles, then cut the subtitles off. Even if it's a show you already know or a movie you've already seen, especially, even better for kind of starting. Once you've seen the words and you kind of know them, cut the subtitles off. Just listen to the audio in your second language. If it's a story you already know, okay, let's say it's Batman and you already know what happens in Batman. You've seen it a bunch of times. Just listen to the audio then. Don't look at the subtitles, or pull up the subtitles for your second language. Make sure it's all in the second language. Subtitles and audio, or just audio, whatever. But get yourself used to trying to, hear things as they sound in normal speech. Yes, typing is helpful, reading in that language also really helpful, but listening to things in normal real-time speech is very important. So just a couple little tips there. If you want some more tips on how to learn languages or how to teach a language, I know a little bit about that, or specifically for Portuguese, I can help you teach Portuguese. I could, maybe give you a video in Portuguese about English. I don't know, whatever you guys want. It'll be fun. So if you want any more tips, let me know. If not, tell me this video sucks.